there's never been a Black woman in the Minnesota Senate in our 164 years of statehood. We, as a government, should reflect the community that we serve. And right now, we do not reflect our community. So we're part of changing that and building a true democracy. Uh, my mom had to like completely start over when she immigrated from Senegal to this country and learn a new language and build a new career and somehow like raised my sister and I. And like my mom is going to be damned if we lose our right to abortion access, like my mom is just not going to let that happen. And that like fight and that push to like stand up for yourself and your community and to find those people who are going to have your back and do that, like that's just all I know and all I've seen, and I think so many of us can relate to that.
My wife and I are members of our local American Legion, a place where you might not guess that a lesbian couple might just go to hang out. But it's, we have family there. It's like a family. It's our local community. And what's really been touching over the years is to hear folks say that, to actually look us in the face and say, thank you for coming here. You have changed minds and you have changed opinions. And we see you and we trust you as people and we care about you.
As a trans person and as a person who's knocked on a lot of doors this year, I can tell you not everybody wants everybody's voice heard. And there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of worry that people who are different somehow aren't going to manage the interests of people who, what the dominant representative, the dominant gender and racial majorities.
I just want to say that there are definitely people out there that are very afraid of the increased representation of women, LGBTQ candidates and BIPOC candidates and elected officials. Yes, I totally agree with Leah that it's not that because we're unique and different in some ways that we can't represent others. There's many people who don't look like me, who've represented me for decades. And it's really about our common values, our common goals.
I heard a lot of things about the fact that I'm transgender. Obviously, the voice doesn't match the appearance, and how that might be a lightning rod, and how I might be the subject of a lot of negativity. But it was also important to me, and it was very clear that me running would send a great message to the LGBTQ community out here in Carver County, not only the students, but also for adults, that they mattered and that maybe I'd be there to give them some public representation.
So I have a passion around, the little constitution that said, we the people. I thought it meant everybody. I just learned, as I got older, no, not you, and certainly not you. When you read this document, it's pretty appalling. So the number of people who excluded, Nevada had the first majority women legislature in 2019, and they increased that in 2020. And they started to pass laws around sex trafficking, sexual assault, paid family leave, and issues that mattered to the diversity that were coming in the door. So for me, equality under the law is very important, and getting people in the seats, the decision makers that represent all of us, is very important.
I always say that when women succeed, we all succeed as a larger society. And for Hmong women, we are often the carriers of our traditions, our culture, our people, and yet we have the least power making like decisions. So it's really important for me to educate Hmong women, especially about their power in voting, their power in how they can influence policy, and what that can do to impact people.
I'm running because for me, as a Native person, as a Mexican American person, as a two-spirit non-binary person, I grew up, in the midst of Duluth in a lot of the struggle that so many of our communities face. and that we shouldn't have to be facing housing insecurity, food insecurity, poverty, right, addictions, mental health, all of like every bad thing that's coming our way, that's been coming our way. We've never been represented by somebody like me with this voice, with the communities that I'm bringing along and bringing in. I heard it said that, you know, if we're not at the table, we're on the menu.